Hey, by the way, there's only 3 of us, so maybe relax the standards a little. You know, like okay,
no.
Great, 1/3 of your group has now been kicked out. Okay, fine. Hey, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We're here talking about the Book of Boba Fett, Season 1, Episode 5, Return of the Mandalorian. We open with said Mandalorian, Din Djarin, collecting a bounty in a butcher shop. Felt very much like Season 1, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian when we first met him collecting a bounty. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. There's a very cool fight scene in which Din cuts his bounty in half.
Yes.
With the Dark Saber, which we'll talk about. But Dark Saber also injures his leg quite badly.
Yes.
We end with Mando accepting Fennec's offer to be Boba's muscle.
Yes.
He refuses the fee, saying he'll do it for free. Nice of him. But first, he has to pay a visit to a little friend. Say hello to my little friend.
Yes.
Side quest time. My comedy group actually did a sketch called Side Quest Hero about a video game character who gets so caught up in side quests that he can never actually return to the main story. But will Din Djarin fall to the same problem? Probably not. But anyway, so Paul,
yes.
Given that, what did you think of Episode 5?
I liked it. Technically, like an undercover episode of The Mandalorian. But, you know, they did create that world, and that's what you want. You want that crossover, you know, between other properties. It continued the story of Din.
Right. It didn't wait for Mandalorian Season 3. It was like,
right, yes.
We'll catch you up here.
Yeah, that one string there of what the other Mandalorians would say once they found out that he took off his helmet. We found out. And
yeah, good point.
Yeah,
there was consequence, which is cool. Yeah.
Yes, there was consequence. Yeah, and and so I liked all that, and you know, it was good seeing Peli again, and all her little her creatures and everything. I guess it was an old school prequels ship that you know, the Mando got. That
Naboo starfighter.
That was fun. So yeah, it was quite a good episode.
Yeah. No, it was probably the best episode of the season. It was a lot of fun to watch, a lot to like.
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the season, I'm going to make you say, what was the best episode of the season that included Boba Fett?
Right. Which is true. I mean, because yes, there is zero Boba in it.
Yeah,
like,
zero.
Not even like look, he's hanging out in the palace.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, I don't think they even showed us like scenes from last week or nothing.
Which is fine. I mean, shows often have departure episodes.
Sure.
Although a show called The Book of Boba Fett, it becomes a little more noticeable.
Yeah. It's like you were reading that book, you're like, hey, these pages don't have Boba Fett on them.
Yeah, they lied. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the first few episodes, I remember, of Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery, in which we never actually saw the Discovery. The action was taking place on a different ship. Again, that's fine. In small doses, it's fine. It just, over time, it would be odd. And I bring that up just because I think it's possible, maybe not likely, but it's possible that Episode 6 is a Grogu-Luke episode. Which sounds great. I'd be all in if that's the case. But it would be telling if, like, the best 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were the 2 that didn't have Boba Fett in them. Because when he says, he being the Mandalorian at the end says, like, I gotta go visit a little friend, they're gonna pay that off. I assume they're not just gonna be Episode 6 shows up, well, I'm back. Yep, well, that was great. Oh, had some really cool adventures. With a Jedi and my little Grogu friend. But anyway,
I'm gonna say that actually I think it's more likely that they'll do this. We'll get the next episode with Boba Fett and without the Mandalorian, and then by the final episode, Mando will come back.
He returns. I just feel like I think it's a reasonable thought that either in Episode 6 or maybe the beginning of Episode 7, I think we see it'll much like we just kind of clicked in on, what's the Mandalorian up to? Oh, he's in a butcher shop collecting a bounty. I think it would be, what's Grogu up to? Oh, he's learning from Luke. And we see like a typical day in the life of Grogu and Luke.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, that's entirely possible. I think if I was running the show, I'd be like, no, Make them want to see The Mandalorian. You know, it's like tease them. What happened? Aha! I bet you want to know what happened, don't you? So you'll watch this other show, won't you?
Find out next time on Mandalorian Season 3.
Yeah, so we'll see who's right, everyone.
Okay, very good. Right. Good point. In short order.
I'm not going to eat any candy if I'm wrong, but, you know, you can gloat, Matt.
Oh, you can gloat.
Yes,
I feel like throwing that in there means you got to show Grogu at some point. But, okay, all right, good point. Maybe they don't. I think that's a bold statement, sir. Now, let us know in the comments, but I feel like...
Yeah, if you agree.
I think Paul's on the wrong side of the odds on this one. But okay. Something that did occur to me, this episode does make the assumption, and it's probably a good assumption, that the viewer has seen The Mandalorian, right? Because if you hadn't, I think you'd be a bit bewildered. You'd be like, what? Why do I care why this guy has a... black lightsaber. Directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes.
Who is one of the directors for the Mandalorian series. So
sure she was.
On a Mandalorian episode, good idea. Also, it felt like this is where the season's budget went. This was a beautiful episode. There's a lot of cool shots. That ring space station looked great.
What about the nuclear explosions on Mandalore?
That was those two. The Ring space station reminded me of the Ringworld books, Larry Niven. The flashback to the explosions, the Night of 1,000 Tears, seeing Mandalore get lit up by the Empire. It was impressive. It was yikes. I mean, it was. We see the Imperial droids, like K2SO, marching across the planet, just shooting everything. Very Terminator 2. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for them to step on a pile of skulls, And Paul, I'm sure you'd be glad to know this. There's a Tolkien tie-in here. My next Tolkien video, the one I'm working on currently.
Yeah, you need to put it into the title. You know,
that's right.
Recap of Book of Boba Fett plus Tolkien tie-in. You know, just to boost the rating
Tolkien
for this
tie-in?
One.
Question mark. Just no, but no. So my next Tolkien video that I'm working on currently is going to be about a pivotal battle in the Wars of Beleriand, Paul, which is called the Battle of Unnumbered Tears.
Very good teasing.
So unnumbered sounds more than 1,000. So I'm thinking this battle's probably worse than the Mandalorian one. But maybe they just couldn't count that high. They're like, somewhere around 500 we stopped counting.
All right. Yeah. I'm sure they were just only those two example of battle / tears.
The only ones.
Just those two.
In the 80s, I had the Tears for Fears album, Songs in a Big Chair. So
but there's no battle in that, so yeah, you're right.
Damn it. Here's my minor quibble about this episode. I enjoyed it quite a bit. As I say, I think it's my favorite one of the season so far. Minor quibble, the let's repair the ship montage.
Yes.
I went back and timed it. It took about 8 minutes.
Yes.
I think I got the idea after about 2. All right, he's building I got it. He's going to put the part on there. Okay, good. Oh, he got okay, great. Like I thought they could have wrapped up the montage faster. It was it seemed like a padded montage. Now maybe it's because this ship is going to be really important later when he's using it and whatever. But I was like, okay, they took an old starfighter and they repaired it. Got it. I mean, I feel like the only really possibly important piece of information that got put into that montage was when the Jawas are like, oh yeah, they stole those parts from the Pikes. Like, I could imagine maybe a situation where, let's say, Din returns from his side quest to visit Grogu, and he finds out that Amy Sedaris' shop has been destroyed by the Pikes in some kind of retaliation.
To me, the whole sequence, I would say, and the series itself, but a sequence of knowing your audience, the ones that are actually fans of Star Wars, because that was an example for a time for them to stick in that part there that they liberated was just like a part that they used in The New Hope. That was the bit of fan service that you got there, and then in that montage there, you got the the little droid using his abilities to show him how to put that thing on there.
And we do see Din is actually working with droids, which is new for him, fairly new,
Right, but and then Amy would say that, she specifically took the droid thing out because she understood that Mando had a problem with droids. So, it's all character building. For me, it was showing how he was going from the point where he was skeptical to getting emotionally invested in building the ship back up to the point where he would take it.
Also, one of those droids is the BD droid. It's from the game Fallen Order. I don't play Fallen Order that much, but anyway, a little Easter egg for the game Fallen Order. Bit. A little bit, yes. One thing I was thinking, though, too, is that this new Starfighter is not really a like-for-like replacement.
Oh no,
the Razor Quest, right?
Yeah,
the Razor Quest is like a mobile home. It's like he's got rooms and levels. Here it's like you got a seat. You're sitting, and if you need to go take a pee break.
And the thing that just occurs to me is like you take out that little thing where the droid would sit. And it would be perfect to put a little Grogu in it.
A little Grogu can fit. It's like especially if you built him a little Mandalorian helmet thing that he'll look just like a droid. Maybe it's like this ship. They did that big montage because this is going to be his ship for a while, and so even into like Mando season 3, he's going to say, "Oh, this is that ship." And you're right. I think Grogu's going to be hanging out in the little droid capsule, and they're going to be flying around the galaxy, making mischief. Once he's piloting it, some more cool Easter eggs. Obviously, you got the pod race route from the prequels, including Beggar's Canyon.
Oh yeah, Beggar's Canyon.
Which I love. This was a great little Easter egg. Like check, well done. They actually had a Womp Rat in Beggar's Canyon. Like, oh, very nice, very nice. Like bullseye Womp Rats. Also, another little prequel callback. A lot of prequel callbacks with. Cool. Din Djarin uses the term wizard.
Yes, he does.
As in, like, awesome, which was a callback to the prequels as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to, again, separate myself from perhaps some of the fans in that I think the Star Wars series use of, I don't know, interjections or whatever could use some serious work. It's like... It's like Nerf Herder, and
Wizard,
and it's like, oh my god, McClunky. It's like like oh my, you guys need to work on that. And also, it's like, do they have wizards in Star Wars?
There's a Tolkien tie-in here, Paul. Gandalf, part of the Star Wars universe. All right. Anyway. Space wizards.
Yeah.
A large part of this episode is Din trying to reconnect with the covert. Right. So he goes and he finds the armorer who's still around, and there's still the one follower, Paz Vizsla, who's played by Jon Favreau. So it's like there are 3 of us now. Like, that big fight. That big fight they had, I think it was season 1. Anyway, like killed most of them. So this particular covert's like, we got, you make 3, awesome. Well, obviously the Dark Saber is revealed. We get a history of the Dark Saber. It was created by Paz Vizsla's ancestor, Tar Vizsla, who was the first Mandalorian Jedi. And so there's a point there where he says, he basically challenges Din to fight because he's like, I want to get my ancestral blade back. Look, it's a chance for my family. But he's terrible at wielding it. And so Mando, essentially wins the fight. So keeps the saber.
Yeah. So it's something that I hadn't thought of until this is that this Mandalorian, who was part Jedi, it's like that's not enough for any of the other Mandalorians to get involved in the Force. It's like, this first one, you think like, okay, well let's do what he's doing,
But you're right. There wasn't like a steady stream after. He didn't start a trend.
Well, at least him having that saber caused him to be the leader of the Mandalorians. So it's not. Apparently, it was like I'm like, this really helped me be the leader, but none of y'all need to learn about the Force, And the armorer there was like, like, oh, those Jedi, their whole thing is cut off all ties, and we're the opposite. And so that was the funny part, like, oh, you want to include that, young Jedi into our order. Well, their whole thing is to cut off, connections to other people. So, but you're going to make a connection. Go ahead, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the idea of, like, no, we're very inclusive and we are very good at bonding and stuff. No, you can never see our faces. We don't we're very socially remote. We don't really talk.
Once you do that, you're out. Nothing you can do except take a bath in a special bathtub.
We're big on.
And if that bathtub doesn't exist, then forget it. You're out when you're out.
I agree that it was like that statement was half wise and then half like, okay. Like the idea of like, yeah, the Jedi I think has been a problem in that they have been kind of cut people off from, like, for instance, Anakin's family. Look, you can't be with your mom anymore. So yes, that's a problem. But to say you guys are the opposite of that, I'm gonna push back on that one a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting lore that comes out there, and we get this notion that the saber, Mando's learning to fight with it, it's getting heavy in his hands, and the armor says it's because you're trying to control it basically, or you're pushing against it. Almost like it has a will of its own.
Yeah, maybe he needs to like cover up the eye holes in his helmet so that they can get a little orb and he can.
You know what would be great for that? The Force.
Yeah,
probably
exactly. Yeah, maybe that's what he needs. A little Jedi training there to use the Jedi weapon.
I assume, right. It's funny because in your point before when you were talking about Tar Vizsla, how it seems like they being the Mandalorians maybe made the wrong association. Hey, the guy with Jedi powers made a really good leader. It's probably because he had the sword. Oh, the sword's what's important. Anybody with a sword, like maybe it's because he could use the Force. Maybe that. No, is that not a? Okay, never mind. You're right. He also had a good pair of shoes. I don't know that. Oh, the shoes! That's what did it. Only the shoes of the chosen one. It feels like, this weight of the saber is a metaphor, essentially, for this idea of, like, it has responsibility. You got to be a leader. Like, you accept this saber, you have to accept the leadership that comes with it, which I think is maybe is the trajectory of Mando. Probably season 3. See, we've already got. Oh, you have to return to the living waters of Mandalore. So he's going to be returning to Mandalore with the saber. I feel like the trajectory is kind of a, you will become the chosen one, the king. He's a King Arthur, pull the sword from the stone kind of a thing going on here. Where I feel like that's his trajectory. That eventually he'll have to embrace being a leader and the leadership that comes with this. I mean, right now he's like, no, thank you. That's not my gig. And so then, right, so he wins this fight and then, has to cop to the fact that he took the helmet off.
That just killed me all the time. It's like, so did you do it? Did you take off the helmet? Okay, you have to answer this question.
Yeah, if I just don't answer, right, I'm not lying. Hey, by the way, there's only 3 of us, so maybe relax the standards a little. Okay.
No.
Great, 1/3 of your group has now been kicked out. Okay, fine. So he gets the another side quest as this redemption thing. So he's got to go to the living waters that flow beneath Mandalore to basically get baptized and redeem himself, and then he can put the helmet, whatever. He's back to being he is no longer a Mandalorian at this moment.
Right, but I wonder
if they're
assuming that those are destroyed. I wonder if they're assuming that. Maybe there's someone that they don't know about, or maybe they can replenish it or something. I don't know.
It occurred to me that now that he's kind of like the knight on a quest, so he's on another quest now.
Yes.
The new quest. But now that he's been censured for taking the helmet off, and he's been giving his punishment, his redemptive quest. I mean, if I were him, I think I'd be tempted to just, keep the helmet off for a while, right? Like, you've already got the punishment. You're not currently a Mandalorian, so you're not really bound by that rule. You know, when you find the waters, you can be like, all right, I'll put the helmet back on.
Right.
But just enjoy your blasphemy for a while. You know, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we don't know what this pool that he has to anoint himself is like. So maybe it's like, okay, you need to stay in twice as long as you had the helmet off.
Oh.
And it's like, really
there's like a time requirement. Damn it. Why didn't anyone tell me?
It's like regular water where it gets all pruny. You're like, I don't like it. Or is it like really like a bath of fire or something where it's like, okay, it wasn't really that long.
Yeah, there's like a clock, like a little egg timer.
Yeah.
It's like, tick, tick, tick. Like, oh, why didn't the armor?
Yeah, or like an hourglass, you know, like
good. Hourglass sounds better.
Stuck in that thing. Is it, sorry about this.
No, all that time you were on the Naboo fighter and you had your helmet on the seat. Well, now you're paying. Also, we get, you know, the armor is pretty dismissive of Bo-Katan, and not just dismissive, like, like basically blames her for the destruction of Mandalore.
Yeah.
You know what happened? Bo-Katan didn't win the Dark Saber in a fight. It was given to her. Hence, Mandalore destroyed. Yep. Her fault! Yep. And she took her helmet off. Yeah. Even double trouble.
Yeah.
That all sets up interesting stuff, obviously, for Mandalorian Season 3. We obviously didn't really advance the Boba Fett storyline so much.
No.
Except the fact that he, you know, Mandalorian has agreed to fight for Boba with this exception that the side quest takes him off world. So it sounds like it's not a thing that like I'll be back tomorrow. It sounds like something that he'd be gone for a while before he comes back. I don't know. Anyways, like this thing seems imminent. The problem on Tatooine seems imminent, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to go and
That's what makes me think that there'll be an episode where he's gone, and then he'll come back in the final episode to help out.
Okay. All right, fly in at the.
Because it'd be like really funny if it's like, oh yeah, I'll help you out, and then we don't see him for the rest of the season. It's like, wow, what did we just watch?
Now that would be. I agree. You picked the thing that would be actually even more bizarre than not seeing Grogu. Would be actually that was it. That was his appearance. Or should he be like, now that I'm no longer a Mandalorian, my word doesn't matter. So I can say whatever I want to.
Right.
I'm fine. Woo! This is great.
Keep your money. I won't be a thief, but being a liar, that I have no problem with.
I'm so liberated. But also we get the idea that what he's got, a little parcel that looks like Grogu's ears, was the Beskar spear. The armor says, hey, we don't use Beskar for weapons, we use them for armor. And so he asks Armor to make what I assume is going to be a little bit of chainmail armor, it looks like,
for a lot of people
for Grogu. So I'm just like, I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
On Grogu, on the puppet.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But anyway, another Tolkien tie-in, Paul. It's like Frodo with his mithril shirt underneath his clothes. It's like, it's like impervious. And so it's like, even though it's really lightweight, it gives him extra protection, much like Grogu's going to have.
Yeah, maybe you should start putting in the percentages of Tolkien content at the beginning of these segments.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for 5 Tolkien references. A little counter at the bottom.
Yeah. You win. It's the 5th one. You can stop watching now.
Yeah. No need to watch further. Well, one other little Easter egg. We had... Din has a run-in with some X-Wing pilots.
Yes.
One of them was the X-Wing pilot from this season, Mandalorian. Yes. The other one, I didn't know this, but I had to be told, but it was the stunt stand-in for Luke in the Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah.
Back as an X-Wing pilot. Pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Wizard.
It's Wizard. It's McClunky. We'll be back talking about Boba Fett Episode 6, the one with Grogu in it, probably, Paul. And we'll be talking also about Peacemaker, trying to catch up on that show. So we'll be doing that next week. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir. And we'll talk to everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.